we're here again in the blue room, which I'm surprised that the library gave me the same room, but alas, we are here. The walls are blue. Obviously this is video 2 of my like little series of talking about just random stuff. This episode is gonna be better than the last because last episode was the first, so it was like so yeah. Obviously for episode 2 I got my bullets ready, my things that we're going to be talking about. The opening. Okay, where I'm at lately. Basically, right now, I am a little, like, frustrated a little bit. Not a lot. And mostly just, like, there has to be, like, I'm gonna look it up. There has to be, like, a word for this feeling. Word for feeling despondent, but hopeful at the same time. Let's see. Bittersweet, wistfully optimistic. That could be a good one. What does that actually like fully mean? Because I know what optimistic means and wistfully, but like, who knows? It could be something entirely different. A blended emotional state of gentle longing for the past or bittersweet nostalgia combined with a hopeful, positive outlook for the future. Oh my God, that's it. Okay, that's it. I'm wistfully optimistic this episode. Mostly because I've been like dealing with a lot of things, as everybody else out there usually does. I'm playing my royalty-free music, so if it's loud, sorry, can't change it unless I turn it down a little bit. I'm just going to leave it like that. Because I've been dealing with a lot of stuff. But I have been like keeping to my goal of reading. I've fallen off the bandwagon a little bit of working out. I talked a real big game last episode and I don't work out that much anymore. I need to though. This is like my reminder to myself that I need to start working out. Maybe I'll go tonight. Maybe I'll go. But in terms of books, we'll go into that little subject because I talked about the book that I was wanting to read, Crocodile on the Sandbank. I haven't gotten very far. I'm a slow reader. I have ADHD brain. It just goes over my head sometimes, but I have read a good like little section of it. Not a lot, like not even half, but I have read like 2 chapters and I'm halfway through the third one. And so far, I like it. Like, it's very older heroism. You know, like it's set in a very like old time period. Women didn't have a lot of rights, rough out there, but the main character is like this woman and she's like, I'm gonna do whatever I want and I'm gonna go on these adventures and I'm gonna take this other homegirl with me and we're gonna have a grand old time. And it's actually really good. There's a lot of archaeological aspects of it, which I really like because that's what I was looking for. And right now, obviously, Crocodile on the Sandbank, you can kind of guess it's set in Egypt. Which I love because I love Egypt. I love learning about the ancient Egypt gods, the pharaohs, how they lived their life, how they like had these mystical ways about them of viewing life and things like that. So to like see it portrayed in this book is actually kind of really nice. And it does do it kind of a little justice because obviously there is racism in the past. Who can go around it, sadly. But she depicts that in her book. Like, she doesn't shy away from it. She doesn't think that, like, I'm not going to put this in the book so white people don't feel bad about themselves. No, she's like, yeah, there was racism back then. And the main girl, she's a little racist, which is no bueno for anybody. But I like her attitude. She has a good zest for life. But, you know, she does have some questionable morality when it comes to like people she views lower than her, obviously. In terms of like this is spoilers. Not that y'all are gonna actually like read this book or anything. You can if you want. Obviously, I'm gonna put it in the description again. But like she gets this other girl younger than her to like come along with her, and she has like a tragic backstory, which I don't think is that tragic, but back then it's tragic. So, and she kind of like takes her under her wing, and she's like, "Come along with me. We're gonna go on an adventure." And this girl's like, "Lady, why are you climbing into an ancient pyramid? Why are you doing all this?" And it's actually just really funny to see that dynamic, because like they respect each other. Homegirly, like the main one, she respects this other girl and like the situation that she's in and all this stuff. And I'm like, y'all haven't even known each other that long. Y'all like just met. But I'm like, women, it's awesome. And I am looking forward to like, because it's a series. Apparently it's like this whole series. There's multiple books of this. This is just the first one. So I am kind of excited to like actually get into a series, because the last series that I was like really into was Harry Potter. Obviously, I feel like that's a no-brainer for most people. And then the Warrior Cats, like in middle school. So I want to get back into series reading. In terms of something that I've read recently, I say read, I listened to it. I did audio, which some people argue if that's really reading. I feel like it depends. If you're cognitively listening and digesting the words that are being said to you and thinking about the impact and the means of like all of the story and everything and the characters and things like that, then I kind of do think that it's reading, because, you know, you're thinking really hard about it. But in terms of like if you're just listening to it and you're doing 50 other things and you're not like totally into it, then it's background noise basically. But this book that I read, it's an adult book. I say that because it talks about, how do you say the word? Masochism? It's the main thing around the whole book is being a masochist thing, basically, like, and that is, we're gonna look up the Webster's dictionary. Masochistic definition: deriving sexual gratification from one's own pain or humiliation. Which, like, this book kind of touches on that, but it's not really like sexual gratification. It's more like life gratification, basically. And the book that I'm talking about is called Venus in Furs. It's very old. Let me look up the writer. Venus in Furs. It was actually originally wrote in German, which I learned that and I was like, oh my god, I love German. Is a novella by the Austrian author, and I'm going to butcher this horribly, I'm so sorry, Leopold von Sacher-Masoch, basically. But it is, let's read more. Because there's a whole Wikipedia page about it. Is a novella by Austrian author Leopold von Sacher-Masoch, and the best known of his works. The novel was to be a part of an epic series, epic meaning there were supposed to be multiple parts, very long. Think Epic the Musical, The Odyssey, that's an epic because it's very long and has different sections. The Iliad, The Odyssey, something else. That Invi's called Legacy of Cain. Das Vermächtnis. I forget what that little, like, I'm going to write it on my palm, but it's like, in the German alphabet. I forget if that's an S sound, because it's not a B, that's for sure. Venus in Furs was part of Love, Die Liebe, the first volume of the series, and was published in 1870. This is the oldest book I've listened to. But basically, I'm not going to look anymore at the thing, because I just want to describe it in my own words, not the Wikipedia. But basically what it was a lot, kind of. It wasn't a lot in terms of me, because I read a lot of fan fiction. But it was a lot in terms of like having to process it and think about it and be like, whoa, this is a twist. But basically, it's about this main character who's a guy, and he's in this like villa. This is spoiler warning. Spoilers! Spoilers of an ancient book that probably you won't read, but just letting you know. But it's about this guy, and he's in this villa. He sees like, and he's kind of like worshiping this statue of Venus, and he thinks like she's the most beautiful thing, like da 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 Venus, blah blah blah. And so he meets this widow who is staying like in this villa with him, because I guess it's kind of like a hotel. Apparently, you could rent out a villa. And he's like, oh my God, you're Venus. Like, I don't know how to question it, but you are Venus. You are my lady in furs. Like, you, oh my gosh, you're beautiful. Da, 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 da. And just instantly, he's obsessively, what's that word? Obsessively, not convulsively, but he's basically just obsessed with her. Like, he's like, oh my gosh, I love you, da, 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 da. Very like, oh, I see you and I want you type deal. And the girl's kind of like taken aback because she's like, whoa, we just met. Like, how could you possibly feel all this? And like, they kind of talk for a little bit. He explains that like he has this deep feeling of wanting to be dominated by a woman, basically to be brought under heel. Like, that was the big thing of the story, was to be brought under heel, underfoot. And it's given like bunch of metaphors where he's like kissing her feet sometimes. He's kissing the statue's feet. He hugs her around the waist, which is close to the feet, things like that. So it was very much like he wanted to be brought to heel by a woman. And she at first is like, what do you mean? Because obviously back then it's not very much like that's another thing. This is like one of the first instances where masochism, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, is brought into the world, like into the literary world, because obviously it might have happened like within peoples and things like that, but this is kind of like one of the first instances where it's actually written about. That being said, where was I? They're talking, she's like, whoa, what do you mean? And he like explains like his whole history of like how his aunt whipped him real good one time, and he's like, and whatever. And he's like, I've always just had this deep need to be brought to heel by a woman. And she's like, I don't know if I can offer you that, because I'm looking for a husband and you don't seem husband material, because obviously back then men had to be like big and strong and provide and be able to like take charge and things like that. And he's like, if you want to be brought to heel, you can't really give me all that. And the guy's just like begging for her and like blah, and she's like, okay, I will make your dreams come true. You can be my slave, because that's what he wanted. He wanted to be her slave. And she's like, I can make your dreams come true. I can make you my slave and everything. But, like, just so you know, I'm going to get mean and I'm going to get cruel. And he's like, oh, yeah, I can handle it. Oh, yeah, it's going to be so much fun. And so, like, she whips him a couple times. That was, like, a big thing. He got whipped. And, like, after a while, he starts to realize, like, oh, shit. She's cruel. Like, she's not just cruel. She's mean and she's cold. And, like, she fancies this other guy and is, like, ignoring him for this other guy, which the guy kind of wanted. Like, and they even talked about it. They had a contract. They had written up a contract. He had signed this contract. And in my mind, I'm like, dude, you wanted this. Like, you literally signed a contract giving away your rights to this random ass lady because you wanted it. Now, I'm not saying that it's okay, but I'm just saying you were woefully aware of the possibility of what was going to happen. And they, like, discuss things. I think it's the first talks of consent and literacy, but they're, like, discussing, like, I want to be able to do this, and I won't do that, and blah, 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 blah. They have the contract. He signs the contract. They move to a place where, like, he can be her slave, like, in public, because I guess they were in a place that, like, that was kind of taboo if you saw a man under a woman type deal. So they're in this new place. She finds this guy. She likes him a little bit more. Basically dumps this other guy. And he's just like, why do you do this to me? Why are you so mean? Why are you so cruel? In my mind, I'm like, dude, you asked for this. And then the girl is like, I told you this was going to happen. I told you I wanted a man who was dominant and like can do things for me and da-da-da-da. He can do that for me. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You wanted this. And he's just like, no, if I can't have you, I'm gonna kill myself and da-da-da. And then like he tries to do it and she's like, okay. But then like strangely there's like a little twist where she's like, oh my gosh, I've been so cruel to you, I've been so mean, and don't you see, and like, this isn't how I wanted it to be. Like, I love you, da-da-da-da. And he's like falling the fuck for it. He's like, oh my gosh, thank you for finally like wanting to be nice to me and da-da-da. Let's get married and ba-ba-ba. And she's like, absolutely, go do these things for me. And while he's doing these things, she's also doing something else, which it's not talked about what she's doing. But I can only assume she was talking with the other guy, making plans, making arrangements. And so he comes back and like they meet up in the room and she kind of slips back into the role of being like the dominant one and ties him up like wrists, feet, like a rope around the waist and like to a bedpost or whatever. And this is the twist is where she's like, I could whip you, but I'm gonna make him do it. And out walks her paramour lover, the Greek dude that she's been talking about and seeing and everybody. And the guy's just like, what? Because they've talked about it before that like, what would you do if I brought somebody else into the equation? And he honestly was like, I would be so sad, I would be upset. And she was like, but you would want it. And like they have a little discussion. I don't really remember what the terms of that discussion was, but it's basically playing out before him, where she brought in another guy to whip him. And whip him he does. So like this other guy is like whipping him. Homegirl's cackling in the background. I honestly am like, what? Because like a little part of you feels bad for the guy. Because like, oh dang, he did say he didn't want this to happen. And the little part is like not happy for him. Because like, homeboy, you did say that you wanted to be her slave and do whatever she wanted and blah, 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 blah. So it's like, it's a very good... It's just a mind bender. Like, I'm still trying to, like, rationalize and think about some of this stuff. But it was great. And what did I put here? It made me think about power, control, and why we're drawn to uncomfortable things. Because I found the audio reading on YouTube, and I listened to it through YouTube. If you want to go look it up on YouTube, they have a bunch of it. It's like a free domain, basically. To where you can listen to the book. Not intended for children. Not intended for children. None of this is intended for children, but I gotta put that out there. And I was like listening to it, and I was like, there were a little bit that made me uncomfortable, where like the guy was like professing his love like continuously, just da 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 da, I love you, I love you, I love you. And I was like, whoa dude, that's a little bit much. And then I can only imagine how homegirl felt. Oh, the book ended. Basically, the man and the girl left him tied up there. Like, left him there. So I was like, I don't know how he got out. Maybe a maid found him and was like, oh my God, and like let him loose. But they left his ass there. And so he went back home to his father. Didn't tell him, I guess, what happened. Stayed with him until he died. And then he gets a letter that's like from the woman. And it basically reads like, aren't you happy because I cured you? You don't want that anymore. You've seen what happens when you are put under heel by a woman in the absolute way that you wanted, and you were like, I don't want it anymore. I have cured you by my whip, basically. And I'm like, damn. But yeah, but then also she like figures out that she's not happy with that guy, I think. But yeah. But it's a crazy read, and I honestly do recommend it because it's actually really good. Transition time from books to right now, like what I've been dealing with in the personal life things. So I recently reapplied for a job position in the summer. I've done this job position before many times. I've worked with this place a very long time. But there's someone walking past. I gotta be quiet so they don't think I'm crazy. It's a bunch of dudes and one girl. They're gonna be studying next to me. Hopefully they don't mind my rambling. But I worked for this place like for a good while. Also, this episode's probably going to be a little bit longer because I have like 2 more big things to talk about. This being one, and then like one more other, and then we'll wrap it up. But we're already at like 20 minutes, so this is going to be a longer episode. But I applied for this job. I've done it before. It was a struggle for me to apply again this year, simply because it's a seasonal position. It's only for 2 months out of the year. After those 2 months are up, you're done. You got to go home, find another job. I say go home because you stay there on the site, work there for 2 months. It's really good pay. And then once those 2 months are over, you leave, you go home, you find another job. So I was really worried about taking this position again. If you can hear them, I'm so sorry, but I realize they can also probably hear me, so give and take. But basically, I was really worried because last time I took this job, which was last year during the summer, I came back and it was really hard for me to find a job. Like, really hard. Especially because I don't have a car. And we'll get into that in the next, like, little bulletin. But I don't have a car. It was really hard for me to find the job. And it was like a big struggle for me. And luckily I found a position. But there was like a very good time where my mental health just tanked because couldn't find a job, had to get on food stamps for a while. Shocker, I know I seem so put together. But it was really hard. And so coming up this summer, I was like, I don't know if I want to do it again because I know that I'm not going to have that security afterwards of having a job. Like, I'm going to have to look for another one. And basically, I signed up again. And mostly it's because I'm tired of doing things. Or I guess I'm tired of not doing things that I want to do. And by want to do, I mean like I have an emotional connection to it. I feel dedicated to it. I feel like I have a purpose when I do it. That sort of thing. And I feel like a lot in my life, I stop myself from doing things that I want to do because it's not conventional for me. Especially in terms of money and a job. I say that, but I've also like quit a lot of jobs in the past because I knew they weren't for me. So I was basically afraid to take the leap, and I'm taking that leap now. And so I signed up. I told the people who I worked with that I was signing up again. They were ecstatic, which made me feel a little bit better because I was like, oh, people are happy that I'm going back. Like, people are really happy that I'm working this position and stuff like that. And those people are my friends. Like, I can tell they care about me and things. My boss said they were about to cry when they heard that I signed up again. And I was like, oh, don't. But, yeah. So it was hard to think about, and it's still hard to think about because I know for a fact that like once the position is over, I'm probably going to go through that struggle again of needing to find a job and not being able to find one, especially because I don't have a car. To the next bulletin. Maybe this will be a 30-minute episode. We're kind of going through with it. Finances and debt. I am 26. Okay, I have my whole life ahead of me, but also I've lived a little bit of it. And in that little bit that I have lived, I have made so many fuck-ups in my life when it comes to my finances and debt. Is it partly due because nobody ever taught me that shit? Yeah. It's also partly because I was a fucking moron and someone gave me a credit card. I was literally a little baby 19-year-old in little college, community college, with a credit card being like swipe, 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 and it fucked me over in the end. So I will be honest, don't get a credit card unless you can financially handle it. And by that, I mean you're able to swipe your card and be able to put that money back immediately type thing. But that was one of the main things, was I had credit cards, ran up those credit cards. Those credit cards went into default because obviously I couldn't pay it, couldn't pay the bills. Basically, I couldn't pay the monthly fee because back then it was also really hard to get a job, and things like that. And I got my first car, which was a Kia Soul, which I fucking hate Kia Souls now. Like, after having that car for a while, I liked it, but I also hated it. She was Fiona, she was green. I had a bright green Kia Soul, and the main issues that came up with that car was the catalytic converter broke 2 times. 2 times. And for those of you who probably don't know, and those of you that do, catalytic converters are fucking expensive to fix. It's like, if that goes out, you're kind of fucked. If your transmission goes out, you're fucked. If your radiator goes out, you're fucked. Especially your transmission and your radiator. But your catalytic converter, you're fucked. Because the first time I went to go get it fixed, I had to take out a loan for $2,000 because that's how much it costed to get it fixed. And so I took out that loan because I was like, I need my car. Which, the car that I got in the Kia Soul, got it stupid. Got it for stupid because I was stupid. I went with somebody stupid to go get the car. He kind of fucked me over because, like, he didn't tell me what the fuck I was doing. I don't think he knew what the fuck he was doing. I certainly didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And I basically put a $500 down payment on a Kia Soul to where my monthly payment was around $500. And it was that way for maybe a year, almost a year, before I refinanced it. And then the car payment was around like $351, which that was more manageable a little bit. But I got in the loan, fixed the car. After a few months, everything was going great. It was going great. Boom. Catalytic converter breaks again. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so, we're going to look it up here because I remember hearing something about this. Kia Soul catalytic converter problems? Question mark? Where's the question mark? Where did it go? There it is. Okay. Here we go. Kia Soul models, particularly 2012 to 2016, which I'm pretty sure 2016 with the 1.6L engines have significant catalytic converter problems, including a recall for overheating, which can cause engine stalling, failure, or fire. I wish I knew that before getting the fucking car. But again, nobody told me. I didn't know. Dumbass I was with didn't know. We call him a dumbass because he is a dumbass. He's a monster of a human man. And maybe we'll get to that later. But yeah. So second time it broke, had to get out another loan because I was like, I need this car. And that was another $2,000. And I was like, I'm shucking out a lot of fucking money for this car. And it sucks because it keeps breaking on me. So fixed it twice. Boom. More debt piled on top of the credit cards that I owed, which I couldn't pay back. And obviously I couldn't pay back those loans and I couldn't make the friggin' payments on it. And it sucked. So I was in mucho grande debt because after a while it got to the point where I couldn't pay my car payment. And I wasn't able to pay it for a very long time. And because of that, my car got repoed. It's bad, but what can you do? I literally couldn't pay for it. It was either that or rent, and I want a roof over my head, sadly. Sadly. God forbid I want to have a home. But, so, where was I at? Yes, my car got repoed. And I tried to be sneaky with it. Okay, I was like, I'm not gonna park it at my apartment. I'm gonna park it at my sister's place because they don't know where that is, and they'll never catch me there. And then the one day, my sister that I live with, not the other one, is like, just park it overnight here. It'll be fine. Nothing's gonna happen. It's one day. They took it. In the middle of the night, the repo man came up like The Sims, and he just went, and he took my car with that big old vacuum machine. No, they towed it away. But, like, I remember waking up and my sister going outside and being like, where's your car? And I was like, this is it. It's gone. I remember, like, vividly going out with the clicker and being like, da-dink, and being nothing. And I was like, ah. So I was like, they got her. So it got repoed. So now that car loan I still had to pay off, even though they repoed the car, because obviously the car was worth less than what I got it for, so I still owed money on the car, which was about $11,000, because I got the car, the Kia Soul, which we're going to do some math again. Okay, Kia Soul 2016 price. We're just going to look it up. We're going to look it up. Shopping. Let's see. Hello? Okay, let's not go to shopping then, because that obviously doesn't work. Let's see. Okay. So if we're looking at a 2018 Kia Soul, I had a 2018. That's the one I had, not 2016. What it says it goes for on Carvana is about $16,590. So the 2016 started around $15,900 for the base model. But used prices, because I bought that car fucking used. I bought that car used. It had miles on it and everything, and I paid the base price for it, which I shouldn't have fucking done, because today's used prices are generally between $2,000 and $11,000. Way less than $16,000. But I digress. By the end, my car got repoed. After the repo, I still owed about $11,000 on it, to which I still do to this day. So yeah. That being said, all of my money in debt. And I'm at this point right now where national debt relief, hopefully they come in clutch. I've never used them before. I see the commercials about them and like people talking about them, and like I know it was a thing, but I never like looked into it because I was like, I don't know if I can do it. And so I called them up and I was like, I have debt. I need this debt gone. I don't know how long it'll take, but I need to work on it. So they helped me, because I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm signing up for. Someone needs to explain it for me. And basically, they take all your debt, they tally it all up, and they have like their own service of lawyers or whatever that they pay to basically, and this is one side of it. There's another side of it where like they do a big ass loan and pay off all your debt, and then you pay that loan, I think. And then, but I'm doing the other one where you pay monthly, they put it into a savings account, and with that savings account, whatever law firm will go to the creditors and be like, we're going to settle. What's the lowest you can do? And that's how they get rid of the debt. And so they said I would have to pay $162 every 2 weeks, which is a lot. Let's see, I can't do math off the top of my head. 2, that's about $324 a month. Basically a car payment. But I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure out how to do it. I'm going to get my debt gone, because I want it gone. I want to be able to get a car again. I don't have a car currently. I use my sister's car. It is so hard being carless in Texas because there is nothing around, and everything that is around is far. So, yeah. Like, I remember I worked at a barbecue place. I'm not going to say which one because it's kind of you could find it. But it's a barbecue place. And I worked there, and to walk there to get the job application when I had no car, and my sister, like, I wasn't using hers yet, was an hour. And that was downtown. And my apartment's like right here. To walk there was an hour. And so I did it because I'm like, hey, I was dedicated. I'm still dedicated. If I gotta walk to a job, I'm walking to a job. And I walked there. I literally was like red, sunburned by the time I got there. They gave me a cup of water because I'm pretty sure I looked like dehydrated or something. I'm gonna take these off. But they gave me some water and I got the job. That place sucked. So I only worked there like a little bit before finding a better job. But yeah, like it was hard to get to that place. And so that's mainly why I want to get rid of the debt, is I want to be able to be in a place where I can get a car again. That being said, I still don't have all the answers. Is like I could fuck up doing the national debt relief, like with payments and stuff, because like I make enough to make my rent and to pay like a few little more bills, but other than that, kind of hard, especially like with food and things like that, because rent's always been on the top. Right below that is my phone bill, because gotta have a phone for most things these days, sadly. They knocked on the door because I'm too loud. That sucks for them, but I'm quieting down. Also a little aggravated now, because I'm like, we're in a study room. I can be as loud as I want in the study room, but not within reason. We're in a public library. I will respect space and be quieter. That being said, I don't know if I'll fuck up. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. We're hoping I won't. But that's where it's at. So, let's just go through our bulletins like what we talked about. I did an opening. I talked about the books that I'm reading. Talked about the seasonal job that I'm doing. Talked about finances. And now we're at the ending. We're wrapping up. So, where I'm at right now, I'm working on it. That's like the biggest thing, is I'm working on it. I'm trying to do my best. Trying to carve out a path for myself somehow. Trying to go back to school, which is incredibly fucking hard. And yeah, I'm getting there. We're getting there. So, God, I don't think they're banging on that wall for me anymore. They're just banging on the wall over there. But, yeah, that's about it. There's another video, episode 1. If y'all want to watch that, do so. If not, it's fine. It's kind of like a standalone thing. But I'll put the books down below, and I guess I'll link the YouTube video for Venus and Furs. So that way, if you would like to read that, listen to that, you totally can. And yeah, that's basically it. So peace out. Talk to you later.